to every migrant woman listening, I would like to remind them that the skills that you bring to Cyprus or to anywhere is part of the bag. You brought with you your bag, but they were not just a bag of clothes. They were a bag of hopes, a bag of dreams, and a bag of skills. Organizational skills, people management skills, administrative skills, and these are transferable to whatever they're doing now. So, and you should not let anybody tell you otherwise. So it doesn't matter what you work on, and it doesn't matter that you're working in a job that you were not educated for or trained for. That's not your degree, but it does matter. But at the same time, it's the skills that you bring to that job, and it's what makes you the employee of choice in whatever field that you are in.
Hi everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Podcast Therapy. First of all, I'd like to thank Unitrust Media for hosting us today and for allowing us to discuss a topic that is both timely and important. That is inclusion and the upskilling of migrant women, especially connecting it to our project Erasmus EmpowerHer, which aims specifically at strengthening the skills, opportunities and confidence of migrant women from different communities. I am Antonia Nikolaidou, today representing COMCY, the Center of Competence Development Cyprus, which is a non-profit training, research and development organization, specifically in the fields of education, capacity building and project management, specifically in the fields of education. A key area that we try to work on is to upskill and provide equal opportunities to underrepresented groups. Today, I'm very happy to have join with us Valerie Badilla, who is a very good collaborator of ours through the EmpowerHer project. And she is the founder and coordinator at Artemis Intelligence and also the director of the European Network of Filipino Diaspora in Cyprus. So thank you so much, Valerie, for joining us today to this very nice discussion.
Thank you very much, Antonia, for having me. So my name is Valerie Badilla. I'm a communications and leadership trainer and coach and a serial entrepreneur. And I am a co-founder of Artemis Intelligence in Cyprus, and Promogoat, also a tech startup in Cyprus, and Tide MRV, a climate tech, another startup in Cyprus. So how did I get here?
Yeah.
About 20 years ago, I was living in Hong Kong, and I thought, I could teach English for work. And I applied everywhere, but no one would employ me. And the reason was I wasn't a native English speaker. A few years later, I moved to Singapore. I did my double master's degree. I completed the Cambridge certificate in teaching English, another Cambridge diploma in teaching and training, and then I did a Singapore, the equivalent of Cyprus HRDA, the Singapore WSQ Advanced Certificate in Teaching and Training, and finally I got employed. I got to teach English. So that was the start of my, career in professional development, personal development, and overall education and capacity building. So, but that experience never left me. What I went through, being overlooked, being perceived as maybe not capable of a job, is the same as what many migrant women from my background faces every single day. But in 2021, Fast forward, I was awarded the Global Filipino Executive of the Year award in the Philippines. And this award recognizes Filipinos who are working and overseas for their professional and entrepreneurship expertise. And I received it with great pride, but also with a sense of deep responsibility, because I know that. But now, with that award, I was put in the limelight, and I thought, I now represent not just myself, my achievements, whatever that was, but a community, the Filipino diaspora in Cyprus and across the world. So whether I'm building a business, consulting, training executives, I'm always looking out for that one woman that just needs a chance, like me 20 years ago.
Yes, I'm very glad to hear your story. It's very inspiring to see where you started and also where you came up to be today. So tell us a bit more about your work today, like the diaspora with the federation and everything that you've. I know that you have many hats, and you have a lot of projects and many initiatives that you take through them. So I look forward to hearing what you're up to.
Yeah, so the diaspora, the European Network of Filipino Diaspora, is a network of nonprofit organization, charity, associations, and diaspora groups across Europe. And there are about 17 it's called ENFiD in short. Mm-hmm. So there are about ENFiD organizations, and it's growing. We've just added a few more. And what the mission of ENFiD is to build and strengthen the connection between the members, of course, but also between these organizations. And they were dispersed, and it's across Europe, but also globally in other parts of, we're talking to Filipino communities, community leaders right now in the US. So there's a lot of things going on there. For the Filipino community in Cyprus, it is a significant thing to be a member of that network, because living in an island like Cyprus is different to other Filipino diaspora in the mainland Europe. Mm-hmm. With them, they can just jump on a train, or they can just even walk, and they can already see their families, they can see their communities, their friends, they can connect. But for us, for the Filipino living in Cyprus, we have, there's the cost of flying. We have to fly.
Yeah. So long flights and very expensive.
It is. There's the distance. So sometimes you have to. Last time we were in Iceland, mm-hmm. and we were trying to find a flight to Iceland to join the. We have the Filipino diaspora group. ENFiD has a yearly annual general assembly, and it's really, really nice. So there's like 17 of us going there, and we were trying to find flights. But the other thing that is really, I think, is really a challenge for us is the visa. So of course we have to apply for the visa. And how do you organize applying for a visa for 17, 20 people? So that's...
Also when you're being away from home as well, like especially from Cyprus to go and, I think
it is very important, because living in an island, although there's a lot of us here, but mm-hmm. it's not the same as being in Europe, where there's a lot of them, hundreds of thousands across Europe. But the isolation of living in Cyprus can be, for a migrant woman, can be real, because it's an island.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's what the ENFiD, the network diaspora does, is to make it possible to provide the access, the avenue for us to get together with the other diaspora in Europe. And that's a big thing for us. And I've seen how I don't know, we were just happy when we were together with them. I think it was because we know that we are part of a bigger, larger community. We're not really that invisible or isolated. So
yeah, no,
yes.
I remember seeing you with your community and with everyone. It felt really special. Like you had a very, very special bond between the community. So it was great to see it in action as well, and see that the federation and the network that you have does build a connection and has a real impact on their lives as well. Because I do realize there are many challenges that not only women but everyone from migrating from different countries in Cyprus can face.
You know, a lot of when we started traveling to join in the annual General Assembly, the first one was in Vienna, and the venue was at the United Nations. And you can imagine how empowering that would be for all of us, for me.
Yeah.
I mean, we were at the United Nations, and that was the biggest group so far when we went to Vienna for the annual General Assembly. And it was just a different kind of experience, and I think that was one of the things that made a lot of impact to people Filipinos in Cyprus, because that was the first time for most of them to travel to Europe, to travel outside Cyprus, which is not going back to the Philippines. So yeah.
Okay. It's great to hear from you again about these very important topics. So I was wondering, of course, we did mention the challenges that women can face in general when coming to a new country, when trying to find their community and everything. What about when they try to enter in the workforce, when they try to find a job, and when they try to build a future, let's say in Cyprus? What would be the biggest barriers you see them facing today and they're trying to look for a job?
So being a woman, being a migrant woman in the workforce, we face the same challenges as most women in the workforce. The baseline is the same. But when you are also a migrant, that adds another layer to the challenges. That the layer of challenges, the lack of access and support, you simply do not have. So that's when it changes. And then when you are a migrant woman in the workforce, and you are a migrant woman coming from a third country, they call it third country national, then we're talking about not only a systemic and institutional kind of barrier, but also cultural ones. And perhaps this is the most invisible one that people don't talk about. You don't talk about it. Last month, for example, I was in a training course, and I was seated beside a lady from Russia. She is the head of the CSR department of one of the largest tech companies based in Limassol, and she is in charge of nine offices in other places outside Cyprus, but she's based in Cyprus. And she said, Valerie, can you believe that they call us third country nationals? And I said, well, you're from Russia and you're still okay because you're not from Philippines, and Philippines is a third world country. It's not the same as third country national. It's third world. So you're not third world. You're still, So, and that coming from third world countries like the Philippines, and there's a lot of us, a lot of migrant women in Cyprus come from Southeast Asia and mostly classified as third world or developing countries. It poses another layer of barrier in the workforce. Again, and my new friend, we were laughing about it, but underneath that, it's real for us.
Yeah. No, I imagine,
So,
definitely.
Then the other week, I was at the what do you call UN buffer zone. So I was at the UN buffer zone, and I went to support my co-founder, my PromoGoat co-founder, who was conducting a workshop for entrepreneurs. It was hosted by the Social Tech Lab, and I went through the guards, the immigration border guards, and I gave my passport, and he said, do you work here? I said, yes. So you're a domestic worker? I said, no. I just said no. So I was with my other co-founder for the other business that we have, Tide MRV, and she said, are you not bothered anymore? I could sense that she was uncomfortable. And I said, no, I get used to it. And again, so again, that's another challenge that people don't talk about, the getting used to it. Not the default, because the default is, okay, you are a domestic worker. I mean, yes, okay, no problem about that. But then when you don't get bothered anymore, when you get used to something, and that then is a problem, isn't it?
Yeah, it's becoming a problem.
So, but the other barrier again is something structural that I think is the easiest one to change, which is the credentials recognition. So as you know, Antonia, a lot of the migrant women that you had in our EmpowerHer workshop, some of them were teachers before, some of them trained as nurses, some of them, but these credentials are not recognized when they come to Europe, to Cyprus.
Yeah, no, that's what we were also discussing, that it's very, let's say, unfair to not recognize all the experience and all the trainings that you had before in the new country. So you do notice that as well.
And that's one of the things that Profile Pass was addressing. I think it's starting to address and empower her. So I really like EmpowerHer mission.
Yeah, I'm very glad that we found you and we connected on the purposes of the project, because it's very directly connected to your community as well, and also the things that you already have worked in the past with. And especially for Profile Pass, which is the tool that we have developed through our EmpowerHer project, it's more like a portfolio, let's say, of like a guided journal, as you mentioned, and I really like the analogy that you made, because it does help women realize their strengths, realize what they are capable of, build their confidence as well, which is, again, something that the project tries to promote. And it's a continuous process for them to work on it, to remind themselves their network, their skills, and what they are able to do also in the future and also in any country.
It wasn't amazing. Remember when we were going through the Profile Pass on the second day of the training, the workshop, and then we realized, and when they said like, oh, we did our homework, they've already completed the Profile Pass, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, no, it felt very special. Because it's also like a thing that we try to work, to pilot, and to make sure that it aligns with the real world challenges that women face. And it was very nice to see that it actually worked. And they
I know, it's really nice, very rewarding experience for a trainer to see that commitment and motivation that they put into the not just, it's always nice when you are part of a workshop because it's a nice thing, it's a almost social thing, but they did their homework.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, it felt very nice. And also it was very nice to see that our main goal with that was to address real world challenges. So that was, I think, achieved for now. So do you want to share some more of your experiences regarding the EmpowerHer project? I know you have been our our main trainer for our course. We did have the girls from the Philippines that joined us, and it was very nice to see them all benefiting from it. I would just like to hear your experience as well on how did you like it and what did you
two things, or probably three. So let me start with the first one that I did when I was invited by you to join the pilot. That was a pilot, right?
Yeah.
Your colleagues, partners from other European partners.
Yes, so we did have the train the trainer session for us.
Yes, that was the train.
To gather all our trainers together from Germany, France, Portugal, Spain, that all came together just to explore the material, the training, the modules that we have developed in this space. And apart from the profile pass, also the web app that we have developed for them to, through a more gamified way, try to develop their skills more through the modules as well, but mostly through self-guidance on the web app.
So I was impressed during that train the trainer. I was impressed by the amount of work and focus and effort that that the women working, your colleagues, have put into the whole training. It's like everyone have their own work to do, and they came together and they seem to just understand each other. Like, okay, this works. This is a proper, a proper program, not just a workshop, but a proper program. Yeah. And I was also very happy that Catherine allowed me to speak up. Like, okay, hang on, we need to put a Filipino representative in the
profile pass, yeah.
Yes, in the profile pass, like a persona. So that was another. That was really. I was very grateful to have that opportunity to have a representation of a Filipino migrant in the profile pass.
Yeah.
And then we had the workshop, and it was a workshop with a training program that we designed together. Like, we want to have them, we want to give them communication skills and this and this and this. But what amazed me was how the participants, the Filipinas, they turned the program into something that they want. Like, oh, we want to talk about this, and then started just talking about what they wanted to share, and the sharing was very good. And then we had one participant, Anne, from Vietnam.
Yeah.
So Anne, we're now talking to Anne about she wants to build a group of developers. She's in the technology sector too, and I introduced her to my business partner, and we are really going to do a lot of good things with her, and hopefully help her in what she wants to achieve. And I think if there is one evidence that a showcase that it works, the EmpowerHer workshop achieved more than what it was aimed to do, then Anne would be a very good case study for us. I'll continue talking to her and hopefully help her. And I think that's the essence of empowering someone,
Yes, I was very excited to hear about this opportunity that came up through our training and through your networking with her. And it was very great to hear that she already has so many ideas for you to go over and discuss.
Yeah.
And it's great to see that the training, of course, had a structure, we had the modules, everything, but it's very important that it came to be very customized and very specific to our people.
We were adjusting as we go.
Yeah, exactly.
Personalizing.
Definitely. Because you were also listening to their needs, to what they wanted to talk. And I think that's what makes you also a great trainer, that you were able to adjust so nicely with the material and them as well.
Thank you.
Great. So we did talk about the competencies that we did through the training, which were, of course, the communication, digital skills, teamwork. And I think they were really excited and very keen to learn more about the digital competencies, which is also a very big part of your background now in your work that you're doing. So how does the digital literacy, you think, that changes the equation for migrant women specifically? What does it add to them?
It has to be on the ground level. So, well, as when we were chatting earlier, I told you that the press release is coming out, and this is the project that we're doing for the ministry, with the Science Center of Excellence, and for the Ministry of Education and Sports and Youth. And this is a project, a 3-year project, funded by the Republic of Cyprus. What it does, I think, will benefit everyone, including migrant women. But in general, what it does is because here's a problem that it solves. There's about 24 to 36 months lag, delay in the data that the job market needs, and that lag also, that delays in the data of what the job market needs, impacts on policies and impacts on education decisions that people make. So we're working on that. The project is called SciSkills AI. So it's easy to talk about top level what AI, digital skills like AI can do for the whole workforce. But at the very personal level, for migrant women, for example, during our training workshop, Esther was talking about how she now uses AI to help her produce the communication materials. I mean, Esther is the biggest community leader of all time. So she needs to give communication information to a lot of migrant women, and because they follow her on her social media feed. So if there's anything from the consulate or the embassy, she would help them. If there's anything from the government of Cyprus, she would help them. And AI, it's difficult for her because community work is not paid. So it's voluntary for her. But in the past, she would ask me like, Valerie, can you just draft this? Can you create this? Can you draft this? But now she doesn't call me anymore. She has AI like, oh, I'm just going to help ask AI to help me draft something. And that information is very important for the community. And, it guides them in their life.
Yeah.
And
that's helping. Also, the information that comes is very ongoing. So it's an ongoing process, and also for Esther to be able to manage everything. AI is definitely a tool that can help.
And migrant women, not all of them they read or write, speaks Greek. And it's very important for digital skills because now they learn how to, I can translate a little bit. Maybe it's not 100% or 90% good, accurate, but they now use available digital tools to help them navigate cultural barriers that was before, but now no longer. So everyday life, or just making sense of some forms, or anything really. So I hope that a lot of these digital skills that are available to many, they're free. I hope that there will be more chances of a lot of our migrant women who can benefit and can learn from.
Yeah, no, I did see already some improvement of their skills and how they manage, for example, social media or things like that, more of the basic level through our workshops. So it was very nice to see that the skills that we tried to show them, they are actually useful for them. And also apart from that, we did have the web app exercise on digital skills, which is the one that we mainly focused on. And it was great to see that they were learning on the way as we were trying to do the activities. Great. So I would like to hear a bit in a broader sense about how do you perceive impact? So how do you personally measure success? I mean, you have done a lot of things and you have worked with many projects. So what does the impact and the success look like for you? How do you perceive it?
Okay, I will look at it through the lens of people who are women who are like me. So when migrant women come here, the first thing that they would do after they've been settled is to find a way to bring a family, a friend, someone from the village to come over here and do the same work. That's how we grew in numbers. that is fine, that's good. But I think a personal success for me or for most women out there would be if the family member, maybe my daughter, maybe my younger sister, I don't have a younger sister, but if I had, or my niece, my neighbor's daughter, if I can influence, if I can impact their decisions in terms of what to pursue in university, for example, maybe pursue a career in space or in technology, in health, tech, fintech, and so that when there is a chance for me to help them, bring them over, they will not be doing the same job that I am doing, but they will be doing one of the jobs of the future. So that for me is impact. That for me is a success. On a personal level, it's a very good question, Antonia. I don't think of myself on a personal level anymore. I think I am quite successful and impactful. And if there's only one person that I can use the word empower, if there's one person in my class, in a workshop, in a seminar, in a gathering that I can empower in terms of not just competencies or capacity building, but also in terms of confidence, and put that person in a different direction, and I think I would consider it a personal success for me.
Totally agree. I see that this is also the way that you're approaching it with everyone as you interact. So it's very nice. It's a very nice way of thinking it. I think that you do measure real impact and how the difference that you make in people's lives in a more personal level. It's very nice to hear you.
Yeah, thank you.
So now just to maybe wrap up a bit about what we have talked about through our discussion, is there a message that you would like to leave to our listeners today, and maybe about employers, policymakers, or even migrant women themselves, to maybe take away from this discussion?
So I guess this is for migrant women, right? So to every migrant woman listening, I would like to remind them that the skills that you bring to Cyprus or to anywhere is part of the bag. You brought with you your bag, but they were not just a bag of clothes, they were a bag of hopes, a bag of dreams, and a bag of skills. Organizational skills, people management skills, administrative skills, and these are transferable to whatever they're doing now. So, and you should not let anybody tell you otherwise. So it doesn't matter what you work on, and it doesn't matter that you're working in a job that you were not educated for or trained for. That's not your degree, but it does matter. But at the same time, it's the skills that you bring to that job, and it's what makes you the employee of choice in whatever field that you are in. You want to comment on the policymakers? Okay, so for the policymakers, for the policymakers and employers, I would like to see that our policymakers and our employers would not treat inclusion as a project or as an initiative that has a start date and an end date and then a report. Yeah. So I would like everyone, but of course it comes with the policies and initiatives and all that, to treat inclusion as a way of life. Maybe it can start in the school. Maybe it can be taught to the younger generation, because what we are talking here now, the challenges that we've identified, they are probably 3 to 4 generations deep. And it's a good time to start changing that. So maybe if it's taught in the school, then it should also be modeled at home. Inclusion. So if we practice inclusion every single day, then it becomes the norm. It's no longer an exception or no longer like a project to be celebrated, you know. I mean, a project is good, by the way. So yes, that's my message.
Great. Also,
So,
I do agree with you that it should be a systemic change actually into the system and not as an add-on or as a project, as you said, in the practices and in the workforce.
So yeah. Do you want me to do a closing message or something?
Yeah. I mean, do you have anything else to add? Would you like to say?
For me personally, inclusion. Okay, so here's my story. So when I was 9 years old, I was selling baby ducks because my mother then was making and selling balut. So balut is this Filipino egg, chick that's still in the egg and they eat it. So then she left. I was happy, by the way, selling baby ducks. So, and then she left. She was trained as a midwife. She left. She was a migrant woman working in Singapore as a caregiver. So I am a daughter of a migrant woman. And she had big dreams. She was very ambitious. And yeah, she dreamt that for me to be going to big, expensive schools, even she couldn't afford it. But then that was nice. But then when I turned 40, I owned a school in Myanmar. And I thought, this is a chance for me to put, skin in the game, employed Filipino teachers, and I employed Filipino managers. Then my mother passed away last year. And when I came back for the second workshop for EmpowerHer, I thought, I am continuing the dreams of my mother. And yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So, yes. So I'm living the dreams of and hopes that she has had.
Yeah,
so
it's very special to hear from you, and very sincere feelings that you have. I very much appreciate you sharing this experience with us.
Thank you, Antonia, and yeah, I am an empowered woman.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your inspiration, for your dedication with working with migrant women, with all the communities that you work with, and also, of course, your efforts in our EmpowerHer project, which are very much appreciated from me and, of course, our partners from Europe. And thank you again for your time today and for all the insights that you shared with us, and also the very nice personal touch that you always bring to our discussions.
Thank you.
So a big thank you again to Unitrust Media and the Podcast Therapy for hosting us today. And also thank you to you who joined us to this discussion. And if, of course, you'd like to learn more about our projects and other initiatives or trainings that we have at COMCY from European funded programs or initiatives, you can, of course, visit our website and social media to learn more about. Thank you.